Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Kaz.
I'm long.
I'm short.
Kaz is a vegan.
Jill loves meat.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I played for England 144 times.
I played for England 161 times. I had to get that in.
And the jungle thing as well.
Me, Queen of the Jungle. I'll take that one.
We're unlikely mates.
But best mates. So we've started a podcast together where we're going to cram in as many stories as possible every week.
Coming up on this week's episode.
I was looking at this time around players like Lauren Hemp, Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, Millie Bright and Chloe Kelly, Ellen White, I can go on, Frank Kirby. And I just knew whether I was part of it or not, they were going to win that tournament. With cramp, she powers through. I don't know if I went into cramp and then she just obviously does this strike, which was absolutely incredible. And I think I was going, don't shoot, yeah. And then when Chloe scored, wow, yeah.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
wow.
And she took her top off and I seen how good she looked and thought, I'm not going to do that. So I just followed behind her.
Welcome to Long Story Short.
Welcome back to Long Story Short, but this is a Euros 2022 special.
Woo!
I didn't
I've got
ask
the red
for
book.
that. Yes, you've got the red book.
I am in charge of the questions today.
You know what?
So
I feel a bit uneasy that you've got that. It's a bit of a control thing.
Why? What? Because I can read through all your notes?
Yeah, don't read through them.
I'm not going to lie. I won't.
What did it say?
I'm not... It's got loads of letters.
Letters? Let's have a look. Oh, they're IBAN numbers. I was trying to make a payment abroad. And you have to, do all these, long numbers.
I thought
it's
because
I'm thinking about taking the podcast to, Marbella. I'm joking. Speaking about, losing control of things, is your Tamagotchi still alive?
It is my frog. So we're still waiting on the names from people.
Yes.
But it did just have a mini meltdown a minute ago because it was poorly. So
did it have a virus?
It had a frog virus.
Like an STD. It's been frogging. It's been frogging. Did you fix it? Not yours, the frog. Did you fix the virus?
Yeah, the frog's all right.
Okay. Well, my panda's still alive.
Are you going with the panda?
Yeah, I've gone with the panda.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I can't believe that on the last episode we told people to give us names and it hasn't been the most important task for their week. We need to name Jill and Kaz's Tamagotchi. So please, I know you're very busy out there, but please name our Tamagotchis.
Frog.
So, Kaz, busy week. I seen you on TV.
Oh, doing the football?
No, on a game show.
What? No, I was not on a game show, Jill.
You were on a game show because I was
this
sat
isn't
along.
in the schedule.
I was sat along from you. Do you want to talk about it?
All right, the pressure got to me big time, right?
Well, tell people what it was.
It was the most feral show I've ever been on. It was honestly, the amount of cheating was shocking.
Really?
Yeah. Even the adjudicator got heckled out the building.
I actually didn't cheat once.
We did
honestly.
The 1%.
1% club with Lee Mack. 100 people. Which question did you go out on?
80.
Is that the second question?
You know it is, Jill, because you played it.
What was the question? No, just for people that didn't watch?
But with 1% club, you either see it or you don't see it. And I just didn't see it. And I was panicking. And I had Clinton Morrison in my ear going, Kaz, you got to see it. Surely, Kaz, you got to see it. He's getting in my head. I was next to Ian, who was just flying and like a kid that just wouldn't share his answers. And then I got Razor Ruddock behind shouting abuse to Dermot, the referee. I was like...
These sentences would never usually happen, would they, in real life?
And I swear, I only went because I really love Lee Mack.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm so bad at 1% club, I actually do play it every week on the app.
Yeah.
Because me and my family play when they're in Birmingham. So when we was at Soccer Aid and I saw Lee, I was like, oh. So I went up to him and I was like, Lee, I'm a really big fan. I was so shy. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm a really big fan. I play your game every week. It keeps us connected, me and my family. And that's how we catch on. And then because he asked us, I never do any quiz shows. It's only because of Lee Mack.
He's lovely, isn't he? He is lovely. And it was all for Soccer Aid as well. UNICEF.
Didn't feel like it. Everyone just wanted to win. Where did you get to, though?
You know what? I didn't want to say, but I did make the last 7 people.
You were very good.
But you know what my theory is? I think if you're very bright, I think you overthink it. Whereas if you're quite simple in your mind, you see it quite quick. Because there was people.
So where do I sit with that response then?
Yeah, I'm not sure. You might be an anomaly. But you know when there was the one like, which of these is not a pair? Can you remember?
Was that the glove one?
Yeah, there was like shorts, gloves, football boots, socks. And I was like, well, shorts is only one thing.
Yeah.
But then everybody was like arguing it. And
was that shown on the show?
I don't know if it was. I don't think they showed the arguing, but I think I just seen it in very like simple terms. So I was happy with it.
You did really. I was actually really proud of it because you were repping us lot, so you did good. But how funny was that though when the question came in on that one that you mentioned, like some people had the other answer, didn't they?
They were proper arguing, weren't they?
Like imagine like 100 athletes, all winners, competitors, Lee's on his own, Lee Mack in the middle, and everyone's just going berserk, aren't they? Like,
and they couldn't even win the money. Obviously, I know it's for charity, but people were taking it like money. Very, very seriously, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were. So game shows, and then I actually did Deal or No Deal for Soccer Aid. I felt like it was one of them moments where you walk into your TV screen. I was like,
really?
Wow. Yeah, because I've
like surreal?
Yeah, like I've watched that programme for years, and then suddenly I've got like a box, and when I watched it back, I think I was talking too much. I was like, Jill, it's not about you. But I think I was just dead excited to be there.
What was in your box?
Well, I was going to him. I think it's a blue. I was wearing blue. I was like, I used to play for Everton, Manchester City.
Yeah.
Opened it. It was, no, it wasn't. It was blue.
Oh.
But I was like, bigged it up so much. And I was thinking, if this isn't blue.
How much was in it?
Blue 50p. Yeah.
So is that good or bad?
Good. Because you meant to get rid of all the small numbers so that you have the big numbers.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And did you win at the end?
So he won like 10 grand or something.
That's amazing.
But yeah. But I feel like I'm being a bit of a game show. Can't say the word I was going to say, but I'm getting around a bit on the game show.
I was going to say contestant.
Yeah, contestant.
You're a bit like the frog. You've been frogging.
Yeah, I've been
frogging around the.
Frogging. So you might see us on the wheel soon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Do you reckon you'll get dizzy though?
I don't know. I haven't recorded it yet, but I think my speciality subject is hot drinks. Which is a bit random, isn't it? So it was nice to see you. I'm sorry you didn't do very well. And I would say there's always next time, but you're never going to get another opportunity. So never mind. At least you weren't out first.
Oh, honestly, I was just like that.
Were you second?
I didn't care as long as I wasn't first out, honestly.
No, you did well. You did well. Right, so back to the Euros.
Are you nervous because the questions are in here, not in your one? You've got that ain't going to save you from this.
This is just a bit of like a protection thing. It hasn't even got anything in it. But I feel like because you've got that, I need mine.
I'm actually really excited because I'm really intrigued. I think the audience will be really intrigued. So it is a Euro 2022, but I want to take it from the top because a lot of people don't know. But how'd you get selected? How'd you know you're in?
So. Yeah, it's not like you just picked off the street. Serena goes, well, I'm going, I'll have her. Well, we're in camp for a while. And then, you know what it's like, at the end of the camp, usually you go home, you get an email, a phone call, a text. But this time, it was basically, we had a meeting with Serena. So we'd just finished playing like a friendly 11v11 against each other. And then basically she said, we'll give you a text, you'll come up to this room and we'll just say like yes or no, you're not in.
X Factor?
Yeah, it was ruthless. And she had like, I think there was 28 of us and 23 were being selected and there was just 5 cars waiting outside. Yeah.
Seriously?
So it was like, if you didn't get picked, in you go, get your suitcase, out you go.
Oh, yeah. That's brutal.
So brutal. It was really brutal because in hours in the past, it was usually a phone call. I think when whole pal rang us, I was on the toilet. Like when I found out that I'd been selected for I think it was the first World Cup, 2007.
What? But hold on. forget hoping it's moment. Why would you pick the phone up on the toilet?
Well, because I'd been waiting for ages for her to call.
Right.
I remember I had one of them little Motorola flip phones, you know, because Beckham used to...
Oh, sorry. Me frog's just had a number 2.
Oh, God. I better check on my panda.
Side.
Oh, my panda's having a great time.
I'm just going to give it an injection. Just
All
in
right,
case.
Kaz, we'll just wait for you.
Hold on. No, it's not
If
right.
in doubt, get the injection out.
Well, talking about toilet, because you're on the toilet when you picked up the phone. Sorry, go on.
No, so basically I had this phone and I was dying for the toilet. So I was like, I'm going to have to go. So I took it with us and I answered. And I thought it was going to be a no, but it was a yes. But Serena's method was more ruthless, I would say.
What is she like? Because I've come across her in the interviews and I've also met her at an appearance. But like, what's she really, really like?
Probably your first impression, I'm guessing, I don't know what it was, but I'm guessing would probably be true because I think she's very much just very consistent in her behaviours. I think, like the panda, she's very black and white. She doesn't like grey areas. And she doesn't shy away from a difficult conversation. Obviously, a great coach as well. Won Euros, obviously a very good footballer. So yeah, I think that's how I would sum up Serena. What was your impression?
She's got a soft spot for you though.
I think
She definitely has.
I think with managers, and I'm sure you were probably the same, I think if they know, I wasn't one of the best players by far, but I think she appreciated the work that I put in. So I think if there's a level of that where you're going to go and do absolutely everything you can, I don't think it's just me. I think she had respect for players that did that. So yeah.
Very
what
good.
was your first impressions of Serena?
Well, a lot of my first kind of, I don't know, what do you call it? Like meetings maybe was more in the media. So sometimes I think she looks and thinks you're trying to trap her or you're trying to get something out of her. And you're not. I actually think she's she's a fantastic speaker in the media. Yeah. I always think, she's answered that really well. You know, like she has a way of like not lying because we can see it and you're not lying to us, you're not making something up, but also then being really conscientious of the group. And so I actually think she's got a really good, she speaks in media is really good. Yeah. And then when I've met her off of media, I did an appearance with her, she was just, I still think she thinks I'm in the media, so maybe a little bit off, but she was so polite, so nice, just really down to earth. But I think probably the media thing maybe is a bit of a standoff, and I never was coached by her, so maybe that.
To be honest, going into this Euros, I wouldn't pick another manager to take the team. I do think it's like in Serena we trust. I think obviously she's a known winner, succeeded on so many different levels, and I do think she can do it again.
But what's the one thing that makes her great? Why would you say that about her?
I think she just gets it. She just gets it. And I think the fact that, like, in the past, maybe in certain environments, I think there's been players at club level and international level where you have a lot of managers that just, I'm being careful not to swear. I'm being careful not to swear, but they just kind of skirt around the truth. Right. And I think that's where, as players and athletes, you go, well, wait a minute, you said this to us 2 weeks ago and then you haven't stuck to your word and stuff like that. I think the fact that she's truthful and honest, I think gets rid of a lot of the grey areas and makes you just be able to focus on your job. And I think she's the same with the staff and the players, that they feel like they can just turn up and play football. And sometimes, you know, in football, women's football, men's football, there's a lot of other stuff you have to deal with before you even get on the pitch. I think she just hoovers that up and then lets you get on with it.
That's amazing. I actually do wish I'd been coached by her at some point. Anyway, did you, like, hand on your heart, did you think when that squad was picked, did you think we can win this? Was it never a doubt?
Yeah, I did. Going into the tournament, I remember I was really struggling with my knee. So there was a few of us at St George's Park, me, Lucy Staniforth, Steph Houghton. I think there was someone else kind of dipping in and out as well. And we all kind of had injuries. So it was going to be touch and go whether we were going to be available for selection. And I remember being so desperate to make that squad. And on a personal level, I knew it was going to be my last one. But I remember thinking, and I was looking at this time around players like Lauren Hemp, Keira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, Millie Bright and Chloe Kelly, Ellen White, I can go on, Frank Kirby. And I just knew whether I was part of it or not, they were going to win that tournament. I knew it probably a couple of months before, really.
Really?
And I was like, on a selfish level, I need to be there. I want to be there. So, yeah, I think I did know that the team was going to win the Euros.
Talk us through then a few. I mean, the standout games in my head was obviously, I thought the Spain game was phenomenal.
Yeah. What about Norway, though?
I was at that game, Brighton.
It was half time, like 6-0 or something.
It was, it's very rare, like, because obviously Norway historically have been a very good team.
Yeah.
The way that we just went, breezed, well, you rather, it was just, I was in there with all my pals and I could not believe it. And I think that maybe the turning point for you guys?
Well, I just remember it going 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. And every time we scored, I was just looking at Serena because I was on the subs bench. And I think she, like, at one point, like, just kind of, like, laughed to herself, like, in disbelief. I was like, I can't believe we're beating them, like, 6-0 at half-time. I think I rang Shelley before the game and I was like, it's going to be a tight one today. It's going to be a tough one. They're very physical, got very good players. And I could see it being like, there was only going to be one goal in it. That's what I kind of predicted. But what was funny was going into the tournament, I knew I wasn't going to be a starter. Like, I knew what my role was, but Serena had sat down with us and she did give us confidence in, you're not just coming here to keep the team morale up and stuff like that. I know that you can do a job on the pitch. She said, so I'm looking at you, and if we're going to, like, shut up shop or we're winning, that's probably when you'll get your game time. And I was like, great, I know things can change, but at least I've got a bit of a picture. So I was like, right, if we're winning, I'm going to get some game time. So it went 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. I'm like, come on, I can shut up shop now. 7-0, 8-0. And then I think I got probably the last 5 minutes or something. But I think that's what I mean about the clarity of roles. I knew what my role was. And yeah, that was a great game. The Spain game, I think I've got to do an apology to Georgia Stanway for this, because she actually, I think she got cramp. Literally, so she got cramp just before she scored. And I remember watching, and I didn't necessarily mean for me, I just was like, oh, we need to get fresh legs on, because she'd ran so hard that game and she did have cramp. And then she picked up the ball, and with cramp she powers through. I don't know if her leg went into cramp, and then she just obviously does this strike, which was absolutely incredible. And I think I was going, don't shoot. Yeah. So it was such a good moment. And I think Tooney scored the equaliser before that.
That game, you guys talk about roller coaster.
Yeah.
That Spain game was, I mean, the final was a separate conversation, but that Spain game was just, I think that's where the whole country just was like, wow.
I think that was the moment where we probably thought we could be going out. I can't remember if it was 78, 79 minutes, and I was sitting next to Nikita Paris. Ella Toon had gone on as sub, which the subs were amazing. When you talk about using your squad and the impact they can have, the Alessia Russo, Ella Toon, Chloe, absolutely incredible. But I remember looking at Nikita, and before I even said anything to her, because I was like, she went, we're going to be fine. Like, we all just kind of knew we were going to be fine.
Isn't that weird when you just know?
There was just a feeling. So, yeah.
So come on then, talk about, like, I actually want to know about the day of a final. You know, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Is it just same as usual? Is it a bit more anxious? Is there noise around you because it's a final?
Yeah, well, you know what? I realised this was going to be a big tournament, home tournament. Probably the first day we met up for camp. So we were staying in Deansgate in Manchester, in the big hotel. I think it's a Hilton. I know, because it's got Cloud 23 on where you can go and have a drink and everything. Obviously, we didn't do any of that. But in my spare time, I might have leisurely strolled up there. And basically, Leah Williamson wanted to go for a walk. So this is like our first day meeting up for camp. The games were starting in 10 days. And me and her are walking, and this isn't even a lie. So we'll walk out. Leah's on this massive billboard, and I'm like, oh, look, Leah, there's you. And she was like, oh, yeah. So as we were walking past, I was like, I think I might, like, grab a drink. So I walked into the shop. Again, I'm with Leah. I pick up my Pepsi. I'm like, Leah, look, you're on the Pepsi can. Then I walk up the aisle to the Doritos. There she is on the front of the Doritos. So I was like, I think from that moment, there was nothing by the way of me anywhere. I wasn't on a billboard. I wasn't on like any products. But I think from that moment, walking up the street, I was just like, wow, everybody's going to get behind the team. And then it was the bus shelter at the end. She was on that as well. Might as well have been the Leah Williamson street. But it was so good. And I think that's when I thought it was going to be a massive tournament. And then the day of the final, I've actually got a bit of an embarrassing video.
This is what we like to see on the
pod.
pod.
Sorry.
Embarrassing videos and stories.
Let us go back. That's Soccer Aid, so it was before that. And then it was More Jungle. Then it was a holiday. Then I was on This Morning. I'm joking now, I am joking.
The thing is, we know you're not.
No, I'm not. Right, here we go. Here it is. So this is the day of the final, okay? So this is my video. This is so sad. I don't even know why I'm showing this. This is me leaving for the final. Well, this is it. A bag full of dreams, off to Wembley. Let's go.
Oh, I don't know whether to take the mick or be like,
I sent it to anyone.
Who was you sending it to?
I just used to do myself because, right, going back years ago, me and Siobhan Chamberlain, she used to do my hair before, like, the games.
Plaque Queen
in the room. And we used to always say, and me and Carly Telford actually as well would be like, we've got to come back into this room knowing that we're not going to be going home.
Yeah.
So that used to be our little thing. Like when I was with Shiv getting my hair done, when I was rooming with Carly would be like, we've got to come back into this room. We're not going home today. So then after COVID, we roomed on our own. So I kind of kept up the tradition. So I've got little videos where I'm just like, big game.
Have you got any more?
I think there is another one. But I just kind of kept up the tradition. Like,
no.
Big game today, Jill. Make sure you're sleeping in this hotel room again tonight. So sad, isn't it?
No, it's not, because it's your motivation. It's funny, but...
A bag full of dreams.
Yeah, well, let the people decide on that one.
So sad. But yeah, so that was the day of the final. And then we'll get on the bus.
Did you have your little nap?
Yeah, I had. No, do you know what? This time I didn't. I think being a sub for this tournament, I felt like I could enjoy the occasion a little bit more. I did feel like that. Whereas in the past, you're like very, very tense in your preparation. But I remember the bus going up Wembley Way and the people. And I know this is going to sound dead cheesy, but the girls were so relaxed. They were like, looking at the fans and commenting on all the different shirts, the face paints, everything. But I remember being like, you know what, girls, you've already won. Look at this. I was like, you've already won. 90,000 people are coming to Wembley to watch you play today. And I just remember being like, you can just go out there and enjoy it. And in the warm-up, I don't know if you remember, Pop got injured. So...
Felt bad.
Well, it is, isn't it?
I felt bad.
Sorry, Pop.
Sorry.
But if you want them to lose a star player, it's going to help you, isn't it? So Serena comes in and I thought there was going to be like a Pop's injured, and like a bit of like kind of happiness settling in. But I remember looking at Leah and Millie and Serena must have just gone, Pop won't be playing, so-and-so's going to come in, different style of play, you know what you've got to do. And I remember them just going, yeah. They weren't scared of playing against Pop. It didn't even matter that they'd changed who was playing. And I think that mentality, I was like, they're ready. They're going to do it.
Do you know, that was so sweet then when you said, look, we've already won.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think
so
I turned to, I think I was with Demi, maybe somebody else, and I just felt it. I was like, we've already won. Regardless of that score on that day, I do genuinely believe they would have kept that fan base because of the journey through the Euros. Home Euros really helped. So, yeah.
And then, come on, talk us through the game then.
Oh.
Come on, what can you remember?
I was so scared. There's a picture actually of the bench before the game and they're all like this because the photographer come up and I think I'm biting my nails.
Was you just
I was so nervous. So nervous. Most nervous I've ever been for anything. Even like playing a game, I was more nervous watching it.
I guess, is that because you're not in control?
I think so, but then also it was like that game was just everything, wasn't it, in that one moment? And it does start across your mind, wow, like, what about if we win this thing? And then there was the moment of Jill, get warmed up, you're going on, and I think there was 5 minutes left of normal time, and then it went into extra time. So I was a bit like, I was nervous warming up because I was like, God, you've got to go on, you've got to put in a performance, it's such a big game. But once I crossed that white line, I just felt like, obviously how you felt playing for England all them times, you know what your job is. And we were so well prepared. Even the last 5 minutes of the game, I remember Chloe, Tooney, Hempo keeping the ball in the corner.
Really good.
But I was watching it going, this is what we've been doing in training every single day. You know, when you're playing the little five-a-sides.
Yeah.
I was just watching them like, yeah, good play, good play. They must have kept the ball in the corner for a good, 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, that was. I remember Gary Neville even speaking about how impressed he was with that game management and that in the corner play.
Yeah, and then when Chloe scored, wow, yeah.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
wow.
And she took her top off, and I seen how good she looked and thought, I'm not going to do that. So I just followed behind her. But just absolutely incredible.
Is it the best moment of your career?
Oh, yeah. I don't think anything will ever beat it.
I had it written down, actually.
In my book. You've wrote in my book.
You won't read my writing, don't worry. I mean, it says here, a minute ago, I wrote it phonetically. So I was thinking, who is Sydney and low man? It's written like Sydney. But let's get to Sydney Lowman.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I know I might have.
Everybody's
heard this story a lot, but I actually
haven't.
I must say the camera was pointing like over her shoulder straight on me, and she had my leg trapped in between her legs, and yeah, I lost it. I don't even know where that vocabulary came from. I don't even have them. I never swear, never say the word effing.
Actually, that is the truth.
Yeah, never say the word that rhymes with click. Like, it's just not in my vocabulary.
Tit.
With a P.
Oh.
No, I should have said something else. What rhymes with it?
Anyway.
Trick.
We don't say
Trick
it.
with a P.
Right, I'm there.
So, yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I just think it was in that moment, yeah, I lost my head.
And you've got it now.
I've got the tattoo on my side. FOYFP. So, yeah. It was off a TV programme, to be honest, and they didn't even air the moment. Mary Earps was coming on League of Their Own, and I said, I'll get the tattoo because she swore in the World Cup, so I thought I'll go one better than her. So Ramesh was giving his banter going, have you got the tattoo? And I was like, yeah, I really did get the tattoo. He thought at the end of the programme it was pen, but I'd actually went and got it done, and then they didn't even show it on TV. So I have still got the tattoo on my side. And it was a waste of time, basically.
No, it's memories. Was there a moment when it all kind of sunk in and there was a realisation that you'd done it?
I think when there's a picture of me, Demi, Lauren Hemp, Lucy Bronze, Kieran, Nikita, I think, and we're just sat on the podium and kick-off's probably finished about an hour ago, and we're just sat there and we'll just keep looking at each other going, I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it. And then I think the next thought was, alcohol. Where's the alcohol? So we went into like the changing rooms. The girls were already like a bit tipsy, and Serena's dancing around the trophy. We were just all dancing.
We don't see this side of Serena.
Yeah, all dancing. And I wanted to stay off my phone, but I did quickly go and grab my phone. And I had loads of messages, and I thought it was going to be well done on the Euros, and it was like that gif of me swearing. But I just sent one text message to Mo Marley and just said, I just said like...
That's a one text
only
you
text
sent?
I sent. Sorry to the family and everyone else.
Maybe people don't know who Mo Marley is.
Yeah,
though.
so Mo Marley, England under-19s coach for both of us.
Yeah.
My manager at Everton, obviously... was interim manager at England as well for a while.
Yeah.
And I just sent her one text message just to say thank you, because without you this would never have happened.
Oh, man.
Sent her a picture of the medal because she gave us my first opportunity at England. She supported us through my Everton days.
Wow.
And yeah, so that one was for her.
Oh, you are a special lady, Mo Marley.
Very special.
Wow, I did not know that. That is incredible.
Yeah.
I feel really bad now from going from something so sweet from Mo Marley to Everyone wants to know about the party,
The
Jill.
party. Well, what I was
What?
going to say was in the changing room, we're all drinking beers and the girls hadn't had a drink for obviously forever because they wouldn't have been drinking in the build up to it. And a few of them were like, I feel tipsy. And when I actually cleared the bottles away, there was 0% Heineken. So I don't know if they were just
Placebo.
like drunk on the atmosphere or whatever. And then from there because we didn't know what the plans were going to be, because Serena, again, she wasn't someone, she was like, wait till you've won it. Don't think about what you're going to be doing. You've got to actually win it to do something.
Wow.
So the next day, so we went back to the hotel and all our family and friends were there. We were knackered, but just obviously stayed up all night drinking. And then what we did was we each had a room. So we give our rooms to the friends and family. So it was like, if you can just jump in with one of your teammates. So I jumped in with Millie, and I'll have to show you the video. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning and me and Millie are just lying in bed and she's like, do a rap, Jill, do a rap. And I'm like, can't believe we won the Euros. And I think in my rap I said something like, I walked in at 4 o'clock this morning was the hour. There's Millie, half naked in the shower. We've won the Euros. And I'm just like, but I think I'm still drunk on these videos. So, but you know what? Them moments, I still speak to Millie about it now. And then the clock went all the way around, didn't have any sleep. And it got to 7 o'clock and I knew the coffee shop was going to be open where we'd been going for the past month. So I put a message in the group, anyone fancy a coffee? And only Lotta replied. And as we walked up, the same walk we'd done every single day for the past 30 days because we were training there. Literally, we walked up, the cars are beeping. Yes, girls, well done.
Oh,
Walk
wow.
past the news agents, it's all over. You know when you have like the 12 papers, it was on the front of every paper.
Wow.
And I just remember thinking, wow, like just wow. And went and had a coffee.
Oh, but then you went to the parade though, right? Was that straight after that?
So yeah,
your
we went
24-hour.
straight to the parade.
That
So I
is a
hadn't
shift.
slept at this moment, and because I didn't want to miss a thing. God, I sound like
Aerosmith. Wow.
I don't want to miss a thing. So yeah, we went to Trafalgar Square, and Sue Campbell only told us recently that she was on the bus. And she kind of spoke to us about a few things. I cannot remember Sue Campbell being on that bus. I think I was just so hungover, and then went to Trafalgar Square, 10,000 people, and yeah, it was just like.
Did you expect that?
Insane. No.
That
I
was
can't, you know what? I
amazing.
can't even really remember Trafalgar Square. I think I started interviewing the trophy.
You
like,
did.
why did I do that?
Because you're a ledge.
I was like, I think I was just probably still had alcohol in my system, and I was just like, yeah, how do you feel? And it's a bloody
I remember
trophy.
yeah, but like, come on, it's the first one since '66. You can interview whoever you want.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I thought I'd get more out the trophy than actual players on that day, maybe. And then I remember running around going, oh my God, it's actually 66 years since 1966. And then when I worked it out, it was actually 56. So the whole thing, I think I told all 10,000 people in Trafalgar Square like the wrong thing. But yeah, then a few of the girls were going on holiday, only a couple of them. And then I was like, right, we've got to still keep partying. So I booked this place in Piccadilly. It was 7 bunk beds. So it slept like 14 people. Honestly, we'll walk into this place. It's a bit of a dive. And everyone in reception's going, has the FA put you here? And I was like, no, I did on booking.com. And then all these
Booking.com.
all these ASOS parcels start arriving.
Did you order the outfit?
Well, because nobody had anything to wear. Kaz, I'll find a picture of my outfit. I looked like I'd escaped prison. It was like this oversized orange suit. And I just looked horrendous. I should wear it actually for the pod because it would go with the background.
Fit in.
And yeah, and then we eventually
Where
stopped.
did you go out then? Did you go to London then?
Yeah, we went to this like circus place. Have you ever been? And you walk in these rooms and it's like just weird things happening.
No, I've not been to that place, mate.
There was like this guy half naked on like a bed, but you just like, you just go and have a drink. It's weird. So yeah, so then that was the night. And yeah, That wasn't even a long story short. Sorry, that was a long story.
You know
long.
what? To win Euro 2022, you can have as much time as you want because that was absolutely brilliant.
But what did you feel like watching it? Because I think we always said as a squad, all the players that had gone before, obviously the amount of tournaments you'd played in, how many times you'd played for England, we really felt like we were just the lucky ones that got to kind of not end the journey, but end that journey with a gold medal. But we really wanted everybody to appreciate that it was because of everybody else that we'd got there. And did you feel involved in that, or did you feel a sense of it's all this hard work that you've done that made us get that medal?
No, I mean, your group was special because you did it. You did what we or the other people gone before was part of but couldn't do, and that's why you're such a unique, special group. And I don't think we should ever shy away from that. You've got characters, you've got personality, the hard work, you've got the right manager, and it's nice for you to say that and for the group to feel like that. But honestly, just sat there when the whistle went, I actually was in floods of tears, and I was with Kelly Smith.
Oh,
It's funny, we had Lauren James was in the box, and at the start of the game we had a photo, me, Kelly and Lauren James had a photo, and we said to Lauren, this has to be you next year, would it be the World Cup? You have to be there. And I remember having that chat with her. And then after the game, then me and Kel were together, and Kel was just in floods of tears. I was in floods of tears. And it was just and I could see you as well doing your lap. Because you were really
I was
soaking
milking
it
it,
in.
weren't I?
You were soaking it in.
Come on, Kaz, I was milking it.
You absolutely should milk it. But it was just so proud and so proud of you guys. And, and I used to think, people said no one watched women's football or no one cared. And it was the most joyous thing I think I've ever been to. And it was so special because I got to watch people like you, Ellen White, Fran Kirby, Leah, Millie, just people that we'd played, we grew up with, that understood what it was like, and to do it. No, I guess we all did feel. I think every member of the country felt a part of it. It was such a joy to watch, honestly.
Yeah, well, I hope so, because it was about everybody. We said even people that had just maybe volunteered the time to look after a girls' team or just give girls' football a chance. It could be a teacher in a school who decided to form a girls' football team. So even if they'd give girls' football a chance on any level, that they owned a bit of that medal. So
it was you did everyone proud proud as well.
Hopefully.
So great job.
So stories from the actual Euros. I was trying to I did message a couple of the girls, and I think Tooney, Lauren Hemp, Demi Stokes, Chloe Kelly, they just kept messaging us back about the boat trips we used to have, because basically where we stayed in Teddington backed out onto, I'm guessing it's the Thames. Yeah. So there was a couple of times the guys had gone to us, if you ever want to take a little speedboat out, it was only a slow boat, then you can. But there was so many moments where we took this boat out once and we were we'll just kind of get an ice cream at the top and then come back. And we're going along and suddenly we're part of this race. This full on
with the drum.
Yeah, when they're driving the dragon boat, and I'm going to Hempo, get out the way of the race. So there's just this little speedboat, and they take it quite seriously. I don't know what it's actually called.
Because they all train on the river.
Yeah.
The regattas as well happen on the river as well.
So imagine our little boat just being stuck in this, and then Hempo couldn't turn it around the other way.
So was Hempo driver?
Yeah, Hempo was driver. So she was sitting facing us, and then we faced the other way. So she couldn't see what she was going into.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God. So we eventually steered out of that. And then I think we had to get rescued because we were over the other side of the water. But this race is going on.
So you got to get back.
We actually got stuck on that side. I think we ended up just getting out and walking round. And then the guy's where's the boat? And we're just over there. So it was an absolute disaster every time. We got to take, I think we went to get ice cream once, and one of the girls, when we all got in and we went to move the boat, and our legs stuck on the thing and the boat's leaving. And I remember the next day she was like, Jill, I think I've actually done my hip flexor.
Oh,
and I was like, right, you just can't see anything. because they'll know that.
It's like the line bike again.
Yeah, I was like, they'll know that we've been up to something. But yeah, I think she managed to train through it, thank God. But yeah, the stories that kept coming up were about these boat rides, really.
And you're a common denominator in all of this.
Well, that's try not to be, I suppose. I think though for the girls, when I look at it now, especially the younger girls, like I think I turned to Hempo when we went to get some clothes on Oxford Street, because as I said, these ASOS parcels were turning up, and I think Hempo and Demi didn't have any clothes. I says, "Oh, we'll just go out on Oxford Street," and they just got absolutely mobbed to the point in which I was like, right, we're going to have to grab a coffee, and just grabbed them into this coffee shop. It was £17 for one latte. £17 for one latte. I said to Hempo, you can use your bonus to get these. And I think that was the moment I looked at, especially Hemp, because with her being a younger player, and was like, your life's not going to be the same again. Like, you're not going to be able to walk down the street. So yeah, good moments, good memories, and I wouldn't change any of it, to be honest.
Oh,
so
especially for Ella Toon, Alessia Russo, and Chloe, because they were like the game changers, and then like it felt like it just their lives, I think, must have changed the most.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like everyone's lives changed, but for those three, I felt because they were their first tournament.
Yeah, their first major tournament. I think for Alessia, Tooney and Chloe, they were just such good teammates as well to have. Like, they weren't mourning that they weren't playing. I think when the team's winning and you realise that you're just all part of a process, I think you just kind of get on with your job, don't you? And I think they were coming on and making such a difference. But then they weren't thinking, oh, I should be starting the next game. You know, sometimes you get players who put in a good performance and then they question why they're not playing the next one. They were just so good to be around. Like Alessia, before every game in the changing rooms, would plait my hair because we'd been winning. So I was like, Alessia, you're going to have to plait my hair. And I remember being like, can I ask her? It was the final. Thought she was going to be so focused and everything else, but I was like, we've got to keep it up, but just great teammates, fun to be around. We did like a couple of little fun like team tasks where one dinner was said you could dress up as like anything. We got put into twos actually, and I did the list, and I think I missed Millie out. Oh, I felt horrendous, but she was a good sport and still went along with it. But you could dress. So you could order an outfit for your teammate to go to dinner. So they dressed me as a grandma. Tooney was this like big red like lobster thing. So we had a laugh as well, like off the pitch. And we had a coffee van as well, which was brilliant. We used to sit and just have a coffee after training. And honestly, the balance of it was just incredible. Everybody loved being there, like for the whole duration, which is really hard to get.
You know, when you were explaining it sounds like it was just right.
Yeah.
Like even how you were describing me, because I can imagine camps, but just everything that you're mentioning, it was like it was meant to be.
Yeah. But I think they planned it all so much. Do you know what I mean? Every little bit was planned. Like it wasn't just random. I think they thought, right, some of the girls will chill and have a coffee. Then they did a games room, which was like the arcade basketball, the table tennis, like all that. So it just had everything. And the fact that we were in the Lensbury, Teddington, and we just kind of created our own like little world.
It's really. Nice hotel.
Yeah. And what we did for days off, like the team, we went on a boat trip because we were on the Thames, and there was a lot of boats involved. But I must say, it was the best ride of my life.
Hey.
Sounds a bit rude. Oh. Kaz, I feel like I want my book back. I feel like you've like took control this week and I'm not happy with it.
You can have it back.
I'm a bit uneasy.
You can have it back. But it was for a very, very special topic and one that I've absolutely loved listening, and I'm sure everyone at home has loved listening to you winning and the team winning Euro 2022. So massive congratulations, and it will never get old hearing those stories of that memorable period and tournament for you guys. So well done.
Well, I'm so grateful to the team, the staff, everyone that we got the gold medal. And I'm just as grateful that I got my red book back. And next episode, keep your paws off.
Thanks everybody for listening. Remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode.
So as well as watching the whole episode on YouTube, you can also watch it on Spotify. So
Woo.
no excuses. So head over to Longshore Pod on socials to keep up to date with everything on the podcast. See you next time.